Hey everybody, it's Mr. Oliver. Reaching out to you today on this Friday before Labor Day weekend and last Friday before school starts next week to hit you with another update and some information that you may need to know ahead of starting school. This video is kind of a hodgepodge of a bunch of different things that I've been asked, and I'll do my best to kind of run through them very quickly. And it'll try to be quickly, although I don't always do so well with the quickly. So as I get into this video, the first thing I wanted to do is actually just say thank you to a whole bunch of people. I transitioned to the high school pretty late in the game here, and I had a lot of good help as I got through this. Whether it was Mr. Halliday, Mr. Chartrand, Bailey, and Trish in the office, the whole guidance department, all the teachers have been wonderful, all the support staff have been wonderful, and all the parents and students have been great. Everybody's been patient and asking me good questions and doing what it was. Sorry, I had to do that. I had somebody trying to come in my office. They've been super supportive, and I want to thank everybody for everything you've done as I tried to get started here. So let's get into this video. And as we go through this, again, this is me just trying to respond to some sort of the more frequently asked questions that I get and some information that parents will want to know as our school year gets started. So the first thing is the one question that's kind of hanging out there a lot is the screening app. As I sit here, it's 11 o'clock on Friday morning, and I know that the screening app is going through its sort of final phases. And oh God, I feel sorry about this, that it's taking so long. You can only imagine the technical hassles of getting every kid, every parent, every staff member into this thing and making sure that it works right. But I've been assured that we're into the home stretch on that. And I've been told to expect that unless there's another snafu, that it will be out today. It's very easy to download, and it will actually be coming out with a tutorial. So keep your fingers crossed. We're waiting on the app, but it looks like it should be out by this afternoon. So I wanted to make sure everybody knew that. I also wanted to talk about access to the building next week once we get in. Using the words limited access. We really are going to try and keep everybody out of the building except for people that have to be here. That means that any parent access to the building or visitor access to the building will be restricted. You should know that during the day, the gate on the main bus loop will be down, so you won't be able to come in there. The parent drop off lane will be open, but hopefully by then we'll have our sign up that says stay in your car, and if you need anything, call. What we'll be asking you to do is call the main office, let us know what you need, and we'll take care of you from there. It may be that we bring you in the building. More often than not, we will keep you out of the building if at all possible. And that's how we'd like to do things in the office this year. So little things like if you're coming to school to pick up a student, give us a call before you even head over, and we can get them down to the office before you get here. And even when it comes to like getting your kids, if you have appointments or whatnot in the past, you've sent notes. It'd be actually easier this year if you just made phone calls and said, "Hey, I need to pick up my kid at a certain time," and that way we can take care of you. So know that as you come here this year, the access to the building will be somewhat more limited than what you're used to. Student schedules. By now, well, they've certainly all been mailed, but we always have a couple of cases where they don't get there, but your student should have their schedule. It's absolutely imperative that your kids bring their schedule to school on the first day. They're going to need that schedule to find out where their first period class is. And in their first period classes, we're very likely going to give them a reprint or an updated schedule, but they need their schedule to know where they're supposed to go to start the day. So for parents of freshmen, we're going to have lots of help in the hallway in the form of both student or staff and students in the form of our link crew kids. There will be more than enough help to get them to their first period classes. If they're anxious about this at all, let them know it's no big deal. But have their schedules and we'll get them where they need to be. We will print new ones just in case there were any changes. We're going to tell parents right now, direct your students to be checking their emails or check your emails. The counselors are working on schedules, and if they are making changes, they're trying to email you those updates now so you have the most up-to-date version of the schedule that's out there. And I was sort of the last thing I wanted to say on schedule, which sounds like a little thing, but it's actually a big thing because we have kids that are both remote and in school. The clock that we're using is the one on the computer right down there. Or no, I went the wrong way, so it's over there. The time on the computer is sort of a universal time. It should be the same as the time that's on your cell phone. That'll be the time to use as far as the student schedule goes. So if it says they have English at 7:40, it's 7:40 on the computer. That'll keep us all on the same page, both at school and at home. And like I said, your cell phone is usually the same time as well. Don't use the house clocks. Don't use the one on the stove that you forgot to change back after the time change last year, or the microwave that's 10 minutes early all the time. Use the one on the computer. So that's all I wanted to say about schedules. Um, the next thing is directed at our BoCES students. These are certainly some of the most complicated students that we have to schedule this week, and probably the parents that have the most questions. This will be very general. So, to our BoCES parents, if you have any questions, call the school. But generally speaking, our students going to Seaway Tech, the seniors go in the morning, the juniors go in the afternoon. We're going to bus them to school. We're going to put them on a bus. We're going to send them out to BoCES. We're going to get them back to school, and then they'll get back home. It's the same way that it's always worked. The same is true on the digital Monday because BoCES is 5 days a week. It's not just four. Um, your BoCES students will actually be picked up at home on Monday by district transportation, and we'll get them out to BoCES, get them back, and bring them back home. And that's the same for morning and afternoon. Mr. Chartrand has been sending out emails and making phone calls on this subject. I assume many of you have been contacted, if not most. But if you have questions, by all means, give us a call. A word about driving to BoCES. The driving policy to BoCES is somewhat more liberal this year than it is in years past. We're going to allow more to go, and BoCES is going to allow us to send more. But you have to have a signed BoCES driving pass, or else you can't drive. That pass comes from BoCES. I think we have some copies of them here at school, and it must be signed by me before you can drive. So as I make this video, there's only 2 kids in the district that have a driving pass signed by me, and you're probably not one of them. So if you want to drive, you got to get in here and get me to sign a pass. So that's all I have to say on BoCES. And like I said, BoCES students and parents, I know it's a hyper complicated issue with lots of moving parts, especially if you're live at BoCES and remote at Messina. If you have specific questions about your students, just give us a call or know that come Tuesday morning, we'll be ready to figure everything out for you. A word about Chromebooks on my very incomplete slide that I forgot to put a picture on. Chromebook distribution was yesterday for our remote students. So if you're going remote only, you should have been here yesterday to get your Chromebook. I assume if you didn't come, it means you have a device at home which you're going to use to do your instruction, which is just fine. If you are a remote student that was not able to get your Chromebook yesterday, it's no big deal. We can get you one. But try and find a device to use for Tuesday because it'll probably be Tuesday or Wednesday before you're able to pick up one from us. To my hybrid students, you're going to get your Chromebooks on the first 2 days of school. They'll be handed out in your first period class. You'll get a Chromebook, a charger, and a pledge form that you need to sign. The pledge form basically ensures that you're not going to damage the Chromebook, and you can assure if you try to chuck it like a discus across your living room that your parents are going to end up having to pay for it, or you will. So be careful with the district Chromebook. The Chromebook also needs to be brought back and forth to school every day. You'll need it in your classes here just as much as you'll need it at home on your digital day, so make sure you have that Chromebook with you. Students, this specifically goes to you. You should be checking your emails now and joining any Google Classroom invites that you see in there. The teachers have been hard at work all week long getting ready for next week. We have a good plan in place. We're working the plan. The teachers are working hard to get their lessons developed and to get all their both live and digital students squared away for next week. So you could do us all a favor by getting ahead of it, getting into your district email and joining any Google Classrooms that you've been asked to join. So that's the last thing I want to say about that. And then really my final note for the video is the same thing I've been saying to the staff here at the junior high school for a week. Our goal as we enter school next week is not a goal of perfection, but it's a goal of getting started and then making progress every day. If parents expect that we're going to start school next week and every little wrinkle of our day is going to work flawlessly, I regret to inform you that you can feel let down already. This is brand new form of education for everybody. I assure you, we've worked as hard as we can to put in great safety precautions and security precautions, and health and safety and wellness issues are all taken care of. But at the end of the day, this is a high school, and we have a bunch of kids in the building and a bunch of teachers, and there's bound to be mistakes that are made. And what I promise you as a principal is while we won't open perfectly, we're going to open really well and we're going to get better from there. So I would just ask for patience as we go. If you uncover issues or if you have problems or if you have concerns, all you need to do is pick up the phone and give me a call or shoot me an email. I'd love to hear them and I'll work hard to fix them. But as we move forward, it's really going to take our community, both our students, our teachers, and our families to come together to make sure we're doing what's right for our children and our students in school. So I promise you that we're going to work with you as long as you promise that you're going to work with us. And together we'll make this work for our kids. We'll get our schools going again. We'll get them back learning with their teachers, and we'll get back to normal sooner rather than later. I appreciate a few minutes of your time this morning. If you have any questions, as always, reach out to me. I want you to have a great Labor Day weekend, and I'm just so excited to have some kids coming back to school on Tuesday next week. So, you all have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.